In this nugget, we're going to discuss and demonstrate bootstrapping the NetScaler, applying a NetScaler IP address, and then connecting via a web browser to do additional configuration, including applying a license. Let's begin. It has been scientifically proven that a device like a NetScaler is going to do much better and be more effective if it has electricity currently going through its circuits, and hopefully at the right DC voltages they're supposed to be. So we're going to power on this NetScaler, and when we do, we're going to go to the command line interface at the console of this NetScaler. The username is nsroot and the password is nsroot. And it goes without saying, but heck, I'm going to say it anyway. We definitely do not want to leave that password as nsroot, because that would be a huge backdoor we don't want to leave open. So in a production network, be sure to change that to something tough, with solid password practices, such as a long password. Base IP address for management of this system. So at the command line interface at the console of this device, we'll configure the NetScaler IP, that base management IP address. And in our case, let's use the IP address of 192.168.1.225. And we'll give it a 24-bit mask, which simply means that the first 3 octets of this IP address represent the network, and the last octet is left over for individual host addressing. So it's sort of like this is the street, and that's the house number for this device. And that'll be the NetScaler IP, or the NSIP. So once that's configured, from its master IP address. Instead, it's going to, or it can, source that packet from something called a subnet IP address. So for example, if this interface right here and the network that server 1 was on, if that's the same broadcast domain, same layer 2 broadcast, I'll label that as the subnet IP that the NetScaler owns. When the NetScaler communicates with that server on that local subnet, it's going to source the packets from the subnet IP. So the server would see those packets coming in from .226 instead of .225. So in our example, .225 is the NetScaler IP, the NSIP, and 226 would be the subnet IP, or the acronym is SNIP. And I'm sure if they had thought about this, they would have worked out different acronyms. Those seem awfully close to keep straight. And the reality is, if we want to, once we've configured a SNIP, at least one of them, we can actually enable management traffic to be handled on that SNIP IP address. So after we do that, we could then connect for management purposes either to the main IP address, the NetScaler IP, or the subnet IP. Another task that we're very likely going to want to do and need to do from the browser is to go ahead and apply a license that we've gotten from Citrix for the NetScaler. And that license will unlock the features based on our license so we can start to take advantage and use those features. So we're at the console. Our NetScaler is now booting up for the very first time, and it's prompting us for the NetScaler IP address, the NSIP. And what we decided to use was 192.168.1.225. We press enter. It's asking now for the mask. We're going to use a 24-bit mask, which in dotted decimal is 255.255.255.0. Press enter. It's asking for the default gateway that it should use. We'll give the default gateway of 192.168.1.1. Press enter. 192.168.225 and then manage this NetScaler through the GUI. So here we are at the login page at 192.168.1.225, and we'll log in as the user NSRoot with the password of NSRoot. So with the username and password supplied, we'll go ahead and click on Login. Now that we've logged in, it's connected us to the configuration page, and it's giving us a chance here to change this NetScaler IP address, the NSIP. And then secondly, it's asking for the subnet IP address, which is the SNIP, the subnet IP address. And again, that subnet IP is the IP address the NetScaler is going to be using as it sends packets to these servers, which are usually on the more trusted, or at least the So I'm going to select Pacific Daylight Savings Time, which is the time zone I'm currently in. And then we have the option right here of checking this box so we can change the password for NSRoot, which again is a terrific idea if you're in a production environment. And then we'll click on Continue. And then the next thing it takes us to is the opportunity to go ahead and apply licenses for this NetScaler. So I currently have a license that I got from Citrix. It's on my file system. And to apply it, all I need to do is go ahead and click on Browse. Browse to the location of that license file, select it, and it states that the license was updated successfully. That's fantastic. So with the license applied, and then connect via a web browser to add a subnet IP as well as apply a license. I appreciate you joining me for this nugget. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.